The storm rolled in like a warning. Wind rattled the street signs and tore leaves from trembling trees. Streetlights flickered, casting puddles in eerie orange. A sleek black car moved steadily through the rain-soaked streets, its headlights carving paths through the gloom. Please like and subscribe for more contents like this. In the back seat sat Cole Bennett, CEO of Bennett Holdings. His eyes stared blankly out the window, following raindrops racing down the glass. The day had drained him, boardroom battles, staff layoffs, and press rumors swirling like sharks. His head ached with the weight of it all. He sighed and leaned back, closing his eyes for just a second before the car slowed. The driver, Marcus, pressed the brakes gently. Sir. Cole didn't open his eyes. What is it? There's someone in the road. Cole sat up. Through the windshield, a figure stood in the middle of the street, a young woman, soaked through, clutching a small child to her chest. Her coat hung off one shoulder, her hair plastered to her face. The child, barely more than a toddler, was wrapped in a thin towel. Marcus rolled down the window an inch. Ma'am, you need to move. This is dangerous. Please, the woman's voice cracked, trembling. I just need a ride. Just a few blocks. My baby's freezing. We have nowhere to go. Cole leaned forward. He studied her, the panic, the shivering child, the silent scream in her eyes. Marcus shook his head. Sir, this could be. Open the door, Cole said. Sir. I said open the door. Let them in. Marcus hesitated, then unlocked it. The woman clambered in, clutching her child. Her lips were blue, her hands trembling. Thank you, she whispered. Cole didn't answer. He just looked out the window again. The storm outside suddenly not as loud as the one inside him. Inside the warmth of the car, the woman sat rigid, trying not to drip water onto the leather seats. The child in her arms whimpered softly, his little face buried in her neck. She rocked him gently, whispering, It's okay, baby. It's okay now. Cole glanced at her. What's your name? She looked up, startled. Jessa Moore. And this is Liam. Cole nodded slowly. I'm Cole. Marcus adjusted the mirror to look at Cole, but said nothing. Where are you headed? Cole asked. Jessa shook her head. Anywhere safe. We were at the shelter, but it got overcrowded. I couldn't stay there anymore. He noticed faint bruises on her arms, marks that told stories she wasn't saying out loud. Family nearby? No, just us, she said, pulling Liam closer. Silence fell again. Cole watched her out of the corner of his eye. Everything about her was worn, her coat, her shoes, her voice. After a few blocks, Cole made up his mind. You're coming with me. Jessa's head snapped up. What? I have a guest house on my property. It's clean, dry, and safe. You and Liam can stay there for now. Her eyes widened. I can't take advantage. You're not, Cole interrupted gently. You need a place. I have one. Tears welled in her eyes. Thank you. I don't know what to say. No need. Just take care of your boy. The car turned down a long, private drive lined with old trees. The rain softened slightly as they approached a large estate. Lights glowed from the main house, and beyond it sat a smaller cottage tucked near a garden. Marcus parked near the guest house. Cole opened his umbrella and stepped out, walking around to her side. He held it over her and Liam as they got out. Come on, let's get you inside. The guest house was small but warm, with soft lighting and neatly arranged furniture. Cole led her inside, placing the umbrella near the door. There's food in the kitchen, towels in the bathroom, heat's already on. Jessa looked around, dazed. This is more than I ever expected. Get some rest, Cole said. We'll talk in the morning. As he turned to leave, Liam peeked out from Jessa's shoulder. The boy reached a tiny hand toward him. Thank you, mister, he said in a whisper. Cole's heart stuttered. You're welcome, Liam. He stepped out into the rain again, his coat quickly soaked. Jessa closed the door softly behind him. She leaned against it, clutching her child, tears sliding down her face. "Maybe this is our chance," she whispered. "Maybe." Cole didn't sleep that night. He stood by his window, watching the rain turn into mist. Something about that woman and her boy lingered in his mind. Not just pity, something deeper. Familiar. He poured himself a drink, but didn't take a sip. His thoughts wouldn't settle. The next morning, sunlight crept through the clouds. Cole walked back to the guest house. He paused at the doorway. Through the half-open curtain, he saw Jessa feeding Liam from a small bowl of cereal. She hummed softly, her hair tied back with a ribbon that didn't match her clothes. She looked like someone who had been running too long and was finally catching her breath. He knocked gently. Jessa looked up, surprised. "Good morning," he said. She stood quickly. "Morning. I didn't know if I should stay. Would you consider it?" She hesitated. "I don't want to be a burden." "You're not. The house needs help, cleaning, organizing, a little cooking. If you'd like to stay, I can offer that." She blinked, unsure if she'd heard him right. "You'd let me work here?" "I let you into my car," he said with a faint smile. "This isn't a big leap." She laughed quietly. "Then yes. Thank you." Jessa didn't waste time. The next day, she was up early, helping the housekeeper in the kitchen. She folded laundry with care, cleaned windows until they shone, and swept the porch. Liam played outside, carefully supervised by the security team Cole had instructed to be gentle with him. She never asked for more than what was given. She never wandered into rooms uninvited. She stayed in her lane, always polite, always reserved. But Cole noticed things. The way she folded towels into perfect rectangles. The way she smiled at the plants when she watered them. The way she always paused before entering the room, like she was checking if it was okay to belong. He found himself pausing too, watching her more than he meant to. One morning, he passed by the kitchen and saw her standing in the light pouring through the window, her eyes closed, just breathing. It was such a quiet moment. So simple, and yet it stayed with him all day. Nights were hardest for Cole. That silence always came back. He worked late, read reports, held meetings, but it never filled the hollow. One night, just before midnight, he went down to the kitchen for tea. He stopped short. Jessa was there. She sat on the floor, back against a cabinet, Liam curled on her lap under a thin blanket. Her hand cradled a half-folded napkin. They had fallen asleep right there. Cole crouched down and gently pulled the blanket up over Liam's bare feet. His hand brushed Jessa's. She stirred. Their eyes met. "I didn't mean to fall asleep here," she whispered. "He had a nightmare. I was trying to." "It's all right," Cole said softly. "The kitchen's warm." She smiled faintly. "I'll carry him back. You can leave him for now. Just rest." As he turned to go, she watched him. Something passed between them. Quiet, unspoken, but undeniable. The mansion changed after that night. It felt less like a museum and more like a home. Cinnamon lingered in the kitchen. Lullabies floated from the garden. Jessa added small touches, fresh herbs in the window box, soft cloths in the guest bath, napkins folded like flowers. Cole didn't know when it started, but he found himself lingering in places he used to avoid. He walked past the kitchen more often, just to hear her hum. He sat longer at breakfast. He smiled when he heard Liam laugh, and he noticed how Jessa's laugh was different now, not nervous, not unsure, just light, real. Sometimes she told him stories about her small town, her dream of opening a flower shop, why rainy days made her feel safe. And sometimes he told her things too, that he hated formal galas, that he preferred sunrise over sunset, but not the whole truth. Not yet. One afternoon, while Jessa planted rose cuttings near the back garden, Cole stood at his office window watching. Liam sat in the grass, drawing circles in the dirt with a stick. Jessa leaned over and brushed a curl from his forehead, then smiled. Something tugged at Cole's chest, a quiet ache. a longing. That night, over a simple roast dinner Jessa made, they sat in the kitchen after Liam went to bed. She poured tea and asked, "Is work still stressful?" "Always," Cole replied. "You make it sound glamorous." "It's not." She watched him for a moment. "You know," she said softly, "you look like someone who has everything, but sometimes you look lonelier than I've ever felt." He didn't flinch, but her words landed like a stone in his chest. "Looks can be deceiving," he said. He stood. "I have some calls." She didn't stop him, but her words echoed in the silence he carried back to his study. Cole sat by the fire that night, files forgotten in his lap. Jessa's words haunted him. "You look lonelier than I've ever felt." She hadn't said it to hurt him. That's what made it worse. She'd said it because she saw him, really saw him, and he wasn't used to that. Not anymore. Not since his parents' accident. Not since the funeral. The house model they'd gifted him, the one they gave him when he was accepted into university, still sat on his bookshelf, a reminder of promises and pain. He had avoided it for years, but that night he held it again, running his fingers along its carved edges. It wasn't just wood, it was memory. The next morning, the study door was left open. Jessa entered quietly, holding a rag and cleaner, unaware Cole was watching her from the hallway. Liam, always curious, reached up to a low shelf and grabbed the wooden house. "Look, Mommy," he said proudly. "A little house." "No, I know," Jessa whispered, her voice sharp. Before she could take it back, Cole stepped into the room. His face darkened. "Put that down," he said, more forcefully than he intended. Liam's hands trembled. He dropped the model. It hit the floor with a dull thud. The boy burst into tears and ran to Jessa. She held him tightly. "He didn't mean to," she said, trembling. "He's just a child." Cole didn't reply. He turned and walked out. That night, after putting Liam to bed, Jessa stood at the study door. Her hand hovered over the knob. She wasn't sure if he'd want to see her, but she stepped in quietly. Cole sat slouched in the armchair, the wooden house cradled in his hands. He didn't look at her when he spoke. "It was the last thing my parents gave me, 2 weeks before they died." Jessa's breath caught. "They had it made. Told me it was a symbol, build something that lasts. I was supposed to have dinner with them the night they died. I canceled. Thought there'd be time." He finally looked at her. There wasn't. Jessa walked over and sat beside him on the floor. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I wasn't angry at Liam," Cole said quietly. "I was scared that something so fragile could break again." She placed her hand on his. "That doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." The days that followed moved with a new rhythm. There were no big talks, no apologies needed. Just understanding. Jessa and Cole spoke more about old books, Liam's silly habits, favorite meals, and moments that made them feel alive again. Liam had started calling him Mr. Cole with affection, often tugging his hand when they walked through the garden. Cole didn't speak of the future, but he found comfort in the present. Then came the knock. It was a Saturday. Jessa was baking banana bread, Liam nearby on a stool. Cole was in his study when the housekeeper called through the intercom. "Sir, there's a man at the gate. Says he's family to Miss Jessa." Cole frowned. "Did she mention anyone visiting?" "No, sir. But he's insistent." Cole checked the monitor. The man on screen was wild-eyed, twitchy, unpredictable. By the time he reached the entrance, the man was gone. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. That night, Jessa was quiet. Her hands trembled when folding towels. She smiled too quickly, too tightly. Cole asked gently, "Are you okay?" She nodded. "Just tired." He wanted to believe her, but deep down he didn't. The next morning, the guest house was empty. No laughter. No scent of cinnamon. Just silence. He searched every room. Nothing. Then, on the porch, beneath a flower pot, he found a folded letter. "Cole, thank you for everything. For the shelter, the kindness, the hope. But my past has found me again, and I can't let it harm what you've built. You gave us peace. I won't let my fear destroy that. Please don't come looking. Jessa. His hands shook. The words blurred. He stormed back into the house. Get the security footage, he ordered. All of it. It was the housekeeper who finally spoke. I saw a man outside her window yesterday. She told him to leave. He threatened her. Said he'd take the boy. Cole felt something snap. No one threatens my family. Cole hired a private investigator. Within 2 days, they tracked her down to a rundown warehouse outside a small town. It was raining again when he found her. Through a broken window, he saw Jessa curled beside a small heater, Liam asleep under a thin blanket. Cole knocked once, then stepped inside. Jessa froze. Cole! You should have come home, he said. This isn't your responsibility. You're wrong, he whispered, stepping closer. I've already lost a family, he said, voice cracking. Don't make me lose another. Jessa's walls shattered. She collapsed into his arms, sobbing. You're not alone anymore, he told her. And you never will be. 2 weeks later, Jessa's ex was arrested. Text messages, witness statements, and footage from the estate left no doubt. And for the first time in years, Jessa felt safe. This time, when she and Liam returned to the estate, it wasn't the guest house that waited. Cole greeted them at the front steps. Liam ran into his arms. Jessa followed slowly, eyes misting. The East Wing had been redesigned just for them. A sunlit playroom, a reading nook by the window, a garden view Jessa adored. It wasn't temporary anymore. It was home. One golden afternoon, Cole asked Jessa to walk with him. They strolled by the lake, Liam running ahead with a toy boat. Cole paused by the water's edge, the place where he used to sit alone. Now he wasn't alone. He reached into his coat and pulled out a velvet box. Jessa gasped. He opened it. A simple gold ring sparkled in the light. I've had a lot in life, he said, but nothing felt truly mine until you and Liam. Her hands covered her mouth. I don't want to just protect you, he continued. I want to grow with you. Will you marry me? She nodded, tears spilling. I never thought I deserved love, but you made me believe again. They married in the garden behind the estate. Lanterns swayed in the trees. The flowers bloomed as if in celebration. Jessa walked barefoot down the aisle in a dress she partly stitched herself. Liam stood proudly beside Cole in a tiny suit. The vows were raw and real, full of promises born from pain and healing. I promise to never run again, Jessa said. Cole held her hand tightly. I promise to be your safe place. Then Liam climbed a small stool, holding his own vows. My mom used to cry in the dark, he read, but now she laughs in the sunshine. That's what love is. There wasn't a dry eye in the garden. That night, under a sky full of stars, they sat at a wooden table with a few close friends and staff. Plates were passed. Stories were shared. Laughter rang through the trees. Jessa leaned into Cole. Liam nestled in her arms. Candles flickered between them, casting a golden glow on their faces. No one spoke for a while. There was no need. They were no longer broken pieces. They were whole, together. And love, once a distant miracle, now sat quietly between them, full of breath, warmth, and belonging. Like and subscribe for more contents like this, and let us know where you are watching from under the comment section.